Welcome to my Unit 2.2 computer build on how to build the computer. This is a quick video, well, not very quick, this is a video showing how I built my computer for my assignment. As you can see here, I'm putting in the motherboard. I need to put in the I/O shield first though, and to do that you just need to clip it in. There's four corners, clip it in on each corner, it goes in. You need to then get the motherboard, insert it into the slots on the I/O shield, and then push down and make sure that the holes on the motherboard are above the rivets inside the case. Then what you can do is you can start screwing down the motherboard. Once the motherboard's screwed in, you can then proceed to insert all wires and put other things into the case, such as a graphics card or a sound card or anything that goes into one of the ports underneath the CPU. As you can see here, I'm installing a really old graphics card which still uses VGA. What you have to do to install this is insert it into one of the ports, screw in the screws into the case on the side where that little lever switch thing is, and then that'll be secure in there. And what you can do is you can start installing other things such as RAM or hard drives, SSDs, etc., etc. But what you need to do this is get the stick of RAM, find the little notch in the motherboard and line it up with the notch that's on the RAM. After that, clip it on both sides, push it as hard as you can into the motherboard, and you should hear two firm clicks. This will mean that the RAM is securely in the motherboard and won't come out. If the clips aren't in, what you can do is you can just flip them up yourself once the RAM's in position. After this, I start installing the SATA connector, the SATA 3 connector I believe it is, so I can start prepping the hard drive to be put into the case. I also start installing the cables from the case into the motherboard, and things that go into the motherboard are such as power switch, reset switch, hard drive LEDs on the front of the case perhaps, audio jacks, mic connectors, etc., etc. USBs as well. The front panel USBs have to be connected into the motherboard via wires from the case. Now that I'm done installing the cables from the case into the motherboard, I'm going to move on to the power supply. The power supply goes just under the motherboard in most cases. Some cases have a shroud where it will go behind the motherboard or underneath the motherboard, but it'll be covered by like a metal shroud. This is a really old case, so it just goes underneath it, you screw it in, and then you plug in all the cables from the power supply into the motherboard, into the graphics card if it requires an external 6-pin or 8-pin connector. And then you can also get your Molex connectors and plug it into your hard drives and disk drives, etc. Now that I've installed the PSU and I've put the IDE cable in, ready to go into the disk drive, I'm going to get the mount that holds the disk drive and the hard drive. Some cases won't have these, but because this is an older one and it's a desktop that's meant for business purposes, it's a pretty standard case, and it's kind of reliable. I don't know what the brand is, but it's a little bit older. What this has is it has a slot for the hard drive and the disk drive, and then what you do is you slide it in. There's two little clips that you clip into place inside of the metal case, and then you can insert your cables into the back of the hard drive or disk drive. The disk drive will require one IDE, I believe it is, and a Molex, and the disk drive will require SATA 3 to transfer the data and a power connector, which I'm not sure the name of at the moment. I've kind of forgot. Once all the cables have been inserted into the back of the disk drive, get the side of the case, put it back on, put it into place. You've got to make sure it lines up with the clips that are on the side, and then once they're in place, slide it on, put a screw in the back of it, and you're good to go. The computer's pretty much done. All you got to do then is just plug it in, turn it on, see if it works. You might want to pray a little bit before that because you don't know if you've gone wrong somewhere. You could have shorted something. But I don't think I did. Thank you for watching my 2.2 computer build. Welcome to my Unit 2.2 computer build. on how to build the computer. This is a quick video, well, not very quick. This is a video showing how I built my computer for my assignment. As you can see here, I'm putting in the motherboard. I need to put in the I/O shield first though, and to do that, you just need to clip it in. There's four corners. Clip it in on each corner. It goes in. You need to then get the motherboard.